And I did want to keep it kind of in theme of the video we watched yesterday. So, we are going to watch Scott blowing up his Barrett 50 cal for science. He's going to do, this is the first episode of When Guns Go Boom. So this is not the Serbo. We will probably watch that when he does the recreation of it another time, because it is a long video. It's like a half-hour long video. So, but we're gonna start with this one. You know, the whole inspiration for why he does these particular ones. Okay, Kaibo, good night. Have a good night. So, Heckle, I don't mind one bit. Yeah, Dronimos, I imagine. So, let us watch Scott blow up a Barrett.
Hey, what's going on, Scott? Oh, hey, man, what's up? How's it going? You gonna pick up the Barrett? Absolutely, man. I'm super excited. But why are you selling it? Oh, no reason in particular. Just thought I'd, clear out some room in the gun safe. Okay, I guess that makes sense, but why are you only asking $100 for it? I mean, it's a Barrett. Yeah, it's a used Barrett, so depreciation and all that stuff. $100, it's all yours. All right, well, $100 it is then. Awesome, man. Well, you enjoy.
Hey, dog. You are asking the real questions here. I respect that.
Enjoy and good luck. All right, I'll catch you later.
Oh,
hey, what the heck is this?
God.
This gun is way too dirty. What's up, everybody? My name is Scott, and you're watching Kentucky Ballistics. We're back out on the range, and today we're going to conduct yet another science experiment with a 50 cal. But not just any 50 cal. Let me go show you what we got, and we're going to get started. So here recently, we recreated my accident from April 9th, 2021, when my RN50 exploded and almost killed me. An overcharged round of 190,000 PSI is what ended up blowing the gun. And
Hey. Okay, we now have a definitive number. It was 190,000 PSI. When we saw the video yesterday, the manufacturer of Serbo said 80,000. Someone in chat said 200,000. It was actually 190,000 PSI. So fucking out. Yeah.
the number one comment was, what would happen if you put that same round in a Barrett semi-automatic 50 cal? The problem with that is a Barrett is about $10,000. Well, luckily, you're watching the best YouTube gun channel there is, and here at Kentucky Ballistics, your comments and ideas matter. So today, we're gonna put a super spicy round in this Barrett.
For a moment there, you could see the pain on his face. You can 100% see the pain on his face. This hurts. So much. Yeah. No, save your 07s for when it's dead. Chat, save the 07s. They will be needed once they explode.
Put a super spicy round in this Barrett. So real quick, the RN50 is a single-shot, breech-loaded 50 BMG, and this is a semi-automatic, gas-operated 50 BMG. We're comparing apples to oranges, but I still want to know what's going to happen when we load a super spicy round in this thing. So first, we're going to take a few test shots with this thing, make sure it functions correctly, and then we're going to load a super hot round in it. Okay, so just like the last time, we have a cinder block wall here that we've built. We drilled a hole through the cinder block wall. We have a string that goes about 150 feet that way. We're gonna be behind the truck, and the gun will be on this side of the wall. So if or when it blows up, we should be 100% safe. I also have a ballistic dummy lab torso to put behind the gun, so if there is an explosion, we'll see if any of that shrapnel would hit you
Okay, cool.
and potentially be fatal. I'm really curious to see what happens today. What do you think's gonna happen? Leave your answers in the comment section down below. And while you're at it, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button.
Okay. Actually, no. I'm gonna wait to ask until we actually we'll let him do his test fire first. Then I'll ask the question.
So in my scientific opinion, I think the best way to check the function of this gun is by doing a mag dump.
Oh yeah. First, yes. Well, I am very much subbing to him. Oh yes, I am. But yes, I am subscribed to his channel. And look at the crater that this 50 cal is making with this mag dump. I know he's married. A cat girl can dream. Nothing wrong with a little fantasy. Look at the crater this mag dump is making. God.
Well, I'd say it's working pretty good. So now that we did our functions test on our Barrett, we got it set up and ready for the test. There's gonna be a slow-mo camera just off frame, so if this gun does blow up, we'll catch it all in slow-mo. I have a Ballistics dummy lab torso here. It has lifelike organs and bones inside it, so if we have shrapnel, we'll see if it would be fatal. Even though we have a berm to shoot into, I went ahead and added some extra stuff just in case. Got a ton of ballistic gel, body armor, bulletproof glass, and a steel target. Better safe than sorry, right? So now we're gonna take one test shot. That way we have something to compare to when we start loading in the hot rounds. This thing got partially destroyed in the last test, but it's still good. Gonna have that around the trigger attached to a string. We're gonna be about 150 feet that way and behind a truck. There's a weapon on safe, and I'm just gonna load.
Wait, Leo, what'd you say? Love to be sandwiched between Scott and Houston. Oh, my. No comment.
Load these by hand. Gonna take the safety off. All right, test shot number one. Here we go.
Oh my. Look at the force of that. Or wait. Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I don't think... Fuck. What did I just do to this? Shit. Okay, there we go. No. I know it was the spice round. I'm talking about the back pressure. But I'm thinking the kickback on the Barrett is not what pulled it back into this. I think he was still pulling on the string. That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, Scott was still pulling the string. That's what pulled it back. Okay.
Sounded pretty normal. Okay, looks like the gun functioned normally. We have our spent casing right here.
Nice. Nice, Scott. Did you see that? Yeah. Nice.
I couldn't do that again if I tried. Gun's working good. So we went through all the ballistic gel, all the body armor.
Good.
We hit the bulletproof glass, and then we knocked over this big steel target also. So now we're gonna load this in there. This round should produce 190,000 PSI. It's the exact same load that we used to blow the RN50. Now let's see what it's gonna do when we put it in the Barrett M82A1. Weapon is on safe. Load this in here. All right, let's send this home. Alrighty then, folks. Place your predictions in the comment section down below. And again, if you're watching and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button while you're at it. Safety is coming off.
Okay. Chat. Predictions. And more along the lines of, what do we think is going to... Thank you, cat. My cat is running back and forth in front of me tonight. Well, I'm not actually going to do a prediction. I'm just curious what you guys in chat think. And my curiosity is, what is it going to do to the Ballistics gel dummy? Because I will point out, the format is different here. Because before, it had that cap that could be sheared off with that pressure that sent everything flying. This one, yes, if you've seen it before, abstain. But and this one is just for fun. I'm not actually doing like a points prediction. This one, not only do you have the bolts that, you know, you have the bolt that can open and close, so you have pressure that can come out of the ejection port, but you also have the buffer spring, and you have all this behind it directly. So I think the dummy torso may take some damage, but I don't think it's going to be as severe as the other 50 cal. It's not going to be as bad as that other one. Yeah. It might, like, you'll knock it over. The pressure wave will knock it over, but I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think the torso is going to take like as catastrophic of a damage as what Scott had happened to him. That's my suspicion.
Okie dokie. Let's get out of here. Here we go. All right. Oh, here we go.
That's kind of my feeling too, Pack Truck. Boom! Look at that. Okay, well, I'll let it play through and I'll go back. Yeah. Oh. Rewind. I hope we can see the blast wave. Okay, I want to see the first slow-mo because I think it was better. Okay. So let's frame by frame it. Already, we have an explosion out the breech. Already, the explosion is centered right here. We can already see the barrel assembly is separated. Already. That's a big difference, because if you remember, the other rifle separated at the rear where the trigger housing and stock was. Here, it's separating at the barrel. And the upper receiver is flexing upward. So maybe the Barrett has a thinner top side of the upper receiver than the Serbu did. Because it's flexing upward like this. Correct, yeah. We're seeing less, it's all staying very centered. But the pressure wave is focused more in the forward direction versus the backward direction. But in general, the amount of pressure is staying in this area. Yeah, like nothing is actually like forcibly being ejected, forward or reverse. Well, exactly, Sasha. I mean, that's the whole point about this is like the different design of the Barrett is like how is it going to be behaving differently versus the Serbo, with it being a gas, but being a gas power or gas pressure semi-auto. But it's like, okay, so it buckled the upper receiver upwards, it separated the barrel, and the lower receiver is getting shoved downward because it's got the ejection port, so the pressure wave came out the ejection port. But it's all staying right here. It's all staying mostly contained in this immediate circle. Well, I don't think there was any damage to the body from the blast wave. I don't think that there was any damage from the blast wave. Okay, it's still in the rewind. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Oh yeah. Now, granted, if you were in a firing position, he's only got the torso right here. The torso is here. The torso is not positioned in a normal firing position. It is further back. Normal firing position, you would be hugging the stock, and your face would be leaning over the iron sights, and of course your hand would be here. So, you are getting a fireball in the face. Hopefully you're wearing iPro. Well, it's tough to see if it went out to the side from this angle. I do think you could be right. Like, that's where the ejection port probably came into play. Is it allowed for venting? Blind or, like, actual ocular damage. Because with this fireball comes a pressure wave. So, hopefully you are wearing iPro. But it is fast. It is very fast. And then you do have to contend with this going up into your face. That is another thing. The upper receiver is buckling and flying upwards. This is where your face would be. On this part of the upper receiver. So, you're not getting shrapneled as badly like Scott was, but you are definitely getting like blunt force trauma from this. I'd say it might be more impactful than a slap. I'd say this be more akin to getting punched square in the face fairly hard. It's not as extreme as we saw with the other incident, but it's still gonna fucking hurt. Absolutely 100% it is going to fucking hurt. Oh, I would expect so, yes. Yeah, your hand's gonna be broke. I'd say your hand would be broken, probably shattered. Your hand probably would be shattered. Probably a broken nose, and possibly an orbital break. And burns. But in comparison to the other one, not nearly as bad.
I hear stuff hitting the trees, so it may not have worked out too well for the Barrett. Oh my gosh! Oh, wow! That Barrett's toast. Well, I was kind of curious what was going to happen because it's a semi-automatic platform, so that means that the bolt is going to come back, relieving pressure. I didn't really expect it to blow like this. Okay, so I've moved everything to this table
can only
so that
relieve
we
so
can
much pressure.
analyze it a little better. Let's start with the dummy. He was a little beat up before, like in shipping. He's got this little slit right here. but he's got some new marks. So right here was not there before, and you can see there's a little mark on his rib. So it made it into him and hit his rib. He also took a piece of...
not good, because if a piece of shrapnel, if there's a piece of shrapnel went in and hit his rib, that means it could have continued up through into the lungs. And you could have a similar situation to like what Scott experienced of a punctured lung. So more damage there. Carboy, maybe a punctured lung is no joke. If you have a punctured lung, that's very bad. That can put, if you don't get that treated immediately, that is potentially fatal. Yeah, you would need to decompress. You would need to decompress the lung, and that's getting, technically speaking, it probably could get done in the field, but you're gonna want to get it done in the hospital. Depends on the angle. As far as like where the heart is too, it depends on the angle, because don't forget this is the left side, and the Barrett was over here, so it would have been coming at him. It would have been coming at this angle, so it would have been going the opposite direction of the heart. More likely, you're looking at a lung, punctured lung on that one, and the heart, which is like right in around here, would likely be okay. Likely. Granted, it is possible that shrapnel could have bounced, like what happened to Scott. There's more of a chance that the heart would be okay, but the lung would be in serious trouble.
It into him and hit his rib. He also took a piece of shrapnel right here. You can see it goes inside him, and it's actually right here. And I'm going to try to dig that out.
Oh my.
Right there. So judging from the explosion and what happened to the dummy, would you have survived? I don't know. I really can't say that. I don't know how hard this piece of shrapnel hit. Also, if it would have hit over here, it could have went in between a rib, and now it's in your lung or possibly to your heart. You just don't know in those situations. But I can say this. I would not have wanted my face on that gun when it went off with that super spicy round in it. I can say this because I speak from experience. Now, let's look at the gun. I'm going to be honest.
The fact that he can laugh like that at what happened. Can I just say, Scott has so much fucking heart. You know, the fact that he went through that and can make this joke, like, I know from experience because I've been through it, it's not even so much that his great sense of humor. It's, he has so much fucking heart. Yeah. Oh, he is not kind of a badass. Scott is a badass. Let us make no mistake. Scott is 100% certified badass. Yeah.
100% honest, I was not expecting this much damage. I expected the lugs to shear off and then the bolt fly back super hard, cracking the rifle in some spots. I was not expecting a full-blown explosion. So starting with the back of the gun, you can see that when this went off, it forced the top of the receiver this way and the bottom this way. We have a huge bulge up top and a huge bulge on the bottom. In the slow-mo, I couldn't really see if the round came out of the barrel, and I don't think it did. That was a brass solid, and I believe that it pretty much just exploded because there's bits of brass color all inside this and all over the bolt. Looks like our carry handle held up pretty well, though. Now the barrel. The barrel completely came off. There's damage to the threads, but they are not completely sheared off. It looks like they're...
yeah, you could see it right there. Right there, you could see it. Right here. You could see that damage to the threads right there. But he's right, they're not sheared.
Off. It looks like there's pieces of the bullet inside the barrel. The springs on the front of the gun are all kinds of warped.
They're done.
But the barrel did not explode. It doesn't look like anything actually made it down the barrel I think that bullet actually just broke up from all the pressure. Like I
Why?
said, that was a 750 grain brass solid, and it was
Yeah, and you know what, Carboy, you're right. The bipod and the trigger, well, we don't know if the trigger assembly is so good. The trigger housing, the grip and the trigger housing look good. The trigger assembly, I suspect, is fucked. The internal assembly is probably just foobar at this point.
Producing 190,000 psi. Normal operating pressures for a 50 BMG is 55,000 psi. So that was really spicy. The bolt held up pretty well. We have some damage to the face, and it is cracked, but it's mostly intact. Another reason I think that bullet just broke up inside the gun is this is painted with a nice brass color now. The mag was destroyed also where the pressure was going downward, and it looks like it came down through the mag, bowed it out, and completely destroyed the inside.
You know what? That makes it a very nice venting chamber. Honestly, that, like, in addition to the ejection port being essentially a vent chamber, the mag turned into a vent chamber too. Because there's not much in that mag when it's empty. You've got the spring, you've got the platform, and that's it. So that's why it stayed mostly centered. It was able to vent out the ejection port and then vent down through the magazine. So it created basically the perfect escape paths for all of that pressure. And that's why the explosion stayed completely localized, which is pretty neat. And Lord Toad, thank you for the follow. Welcome.
So what did we learn from this?
Yeah, it would have, Carboy.
I have survived on April 9th, 2021 if I was shooting a Barrett instead of my RN50 when I loaded that super hot round unknowingly into my gun? Well, that's up for debate. These things are very violent and very unpredictable. The Barrett definitely would have exploded, and shrapnel still would have went into my body. Probably still would have had a broken hand, and probably still would have jacked my face up. Regardless, I don't think it matters what 50 BMG you're shooting. If you get an overcharged round, you're going to have a bad day. So now we've blown up an RN50 and a Barrett M82A1, and I have to admit, I'm even more curious now. Now I want to know what happens to other 50 BMGs and other guns when they're overpressured. How will they blow, and would you survive? Is this something...
Nimrok, I'm wondering the same thing. If there were other rounds in that mag, what would happen? Yeah, if that magazine was fully loaded and he was just firing off the first round in the mag, the biggest concern I would have, the ones in the lower portion of the mag, I'm not too worried about, because even if it cooked off the rounds, they would fire straight out of the mag. And it's a 50 BMG, so it would tear right through the mag, no problem. The ones where I would be concerned would be, Geronimo, you're probably right. Well, okay, but actually the concern is not so much of them cooking off. It's the pressure wave causing the primer to, for lack of a better word, detonate. That's the concern. The pressure wave being so strong, it causes the primer to go, and thus firing the round. Right. So, and the primer is ignited by force. So that's what I would, yeah. It's possible, Wolfie. That's why I'm kind of curious if it might have. As far as, so if it was fully loaded and the rounds did sympathetically fire, if it did, the bottom rounds would be fine and they would shoot straight forward. Because they're in the bottom of the mag, they would just shoot straight forward. The ones that would be concerned are the ones that were in the mag where it was up inside the housing. Because now you have more obstructions in play. And that offers a chance for deviation of path when they fire. Because they are going through, yes, it's a 50, but it's striking through material which could deviate the path. So, I don't know. It would be interesting to test it if it was possible to test it safely. Yeah, yeah, it's an issue. I mean, at the very minimum, you're looking at shrapnel, and if it bursts the casings, it's more gunpowder to ignite. That's the other thing. If the pressure wave ripped the casings open, the powder could and the powder basically went loose. It could have it could ignite that powder with the fireball. So there's all sorts of other possibilities if it was a fully loaded magazine. I think it all depends on luck of if the pressure wave hits the rounds just right to either sympathetically ignite the primer or tear open the casing and expose the loose powder, creating an even bigger fireball. I think it's all just basically luck on if any of those happened. But it would be really interesting to see if it could be done in a very controlled and safe experiment.
Something you would like to see more of, and if so, what guns would you like to see next? Leave your answers in the comment section down below. All right, well, that's going to be it for today's video. It was a very exciting day of filming, and I had a lot of fun, other than the fact that we had to blow up a Barrett, but it was in the name of science, so it was totally worth it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, do me a big favor. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure and check me out on Kentucky Ballistics Shorts, Kentucky Customs, Patreon, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Links to all those can be found in the description down below, along with a link to KentuckyBallistics.com, just in case you want to support the channel by picking up a shirt. And as always, my name is Scott. Thank you so much for watching Kentucky Ballistics, and I'll see you next time.
Oh, that was fun. Okay, Buckets, have a good night. Yeah, and we've watched one or two of his other explodes. He's done, I think it was the bullpup rifle in slow-mo. With we watched at least one with the slow-mo guys where yeah, the AUG. I can't remember if that one was with the slow-mo guys or not. He did do one with the slow-mo guys, and that might have been the AUG. He did one. We have watched one or two more. And chat, if you're interested, their reacts, I put them on the YouTube channel, so they should be on the YouTube channel if you want to check those out.